Welcome back, everyone. I am so delighted and actually very pleased to introduce James Baptiste. He's a licensed owner for Senior CompuCare in Palm Beach County. How are you doing, James?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Good to see you
Oh,
again.
good to see you too as well. It's good to talk to you.
Yep.
So, for our listeners, basically what we're going to talk about today in this episode is we're going to dive into the minds of successful business owners like yourself, James, and we're going to kind of share with our listeners some, you know, opportunities that have come, by you in terms of doing what you do with your business in terms of success. And then also we want you to kind of give some there's people listening here that want to be aspiring entrepreneurs or business owners, right? So we kind of want to dive in and get some feedback or advice from you on what makes you successful from that standpoint. So as we're going into this, let's start with your background. Can you give our listeners a little bit about your background?
Yeah. Well, I started my career, if you will, in Trinidad and Tobago. That's where I was born. And in '89, I moved to Canada as a resident of Canada. And at the time when I went to Canada, I was doing sales and service of printing machines. And I walked right into a recession between '89 and 90 and 91. And it sort of um, was all over the world for the most part. And so jobs became a little difficult. So then I had to decide, okay, what do I want to do next? And I recognized that the computer training industry was one of the places where I could be useful. So from then on, I got trainer training, that type of thing, and started to work with pretty large training companies. So
Hmm.
that's where I have my background that I could have used now in the business that I'm involved in, Senior CompuCare.
Well,
So
go
that's an
ahead.
overview of where I am at in terms of my background.
So what happened next when you joined or you found Senior CompuCare? What did you, in terms of being able to help your customers? It seems like, can you tell us a little bit about that? How that works?
Right, right. So the basic concept of our business, Senior CompuCare, is we target seniors, right? We recognize there's a lot of need out there because technology is happening and changing so quickly that sometimes even I can't keep up, you know? Um, so the nature of our business is that we go to the homes of seniors, right? And we help them with their different needs. So some might want computer training, how to do email, how to do a Zoom, that type of thing. Some might have issues with their iPhones, right? And where they
Hmm.
can't use it properly. So we also train on iPhones. So we do a spectrum of training, right? I've even had a 80-year-old client, and she is what I call the gadget lady. So she loves to buy gadgets and then wants somebody to set it up, right?
Right,
So
right.
many times I had to go and research this gadget and see how to do it, and then go back but then I learn a new skill there. So you see, so working with seniors has been a real joy and a blessing. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that is so inspiring. Listening to you. Now, what about? Do you do any type of? Has the industry changed in terms of doing kind of remote training for seniors or veterans or anyone like that?
Yes, yes, we do that also. It really got or became useful in the COVID years, right?
Right,
'Cause a lot of
right.
times you couldn't go to people's homes, etc. So that was a good avenue. So I use tools like Zoom. and MP360 Connect, those type of tools to remote onto our clients' machines and do some training there. Well,
That's interesting.
up to
Go ahead.
recently,
I'm
we
sorry.
still do that. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So do you believe that there's still a big need for teaching seniors to use technology today?
Definitely so. Definitely so. There's a huge need out there. Sometimes because of seniors' circumstances in terms of receiving a pension and stuff, it might be difficult for them to pay our standard rates. But
Right.
we're always willing to find out what your budget might be and see how we could help out to that
Help.
end. Yeah.
Have you ever worked with any type of businesses? You don't need to know the names or anything like that, but give us an example of any kind of businesses and what you've done for them.
Yeah, I've worked with real estate companies, and it's mostly setting up things like Google Workspace and showing them how to use Google Docs and Google Sheets to automate their offices. Right? I work with a chain of restaurants, and I've helped them sort of automate their workflow. Again, using Google Sheets and Google Scripts to enable that process.
So it seems like Senior CompuCare, helps seniors, helps businesses, does remote training. So seems like there's a number of services that they provide, correct?
Correct. Yes, correct. Even some students, right? They might have to do, let's say, Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, in order to complete their program, and they might need some help. So I've done things like that too, help students in university and so.
So what drives, and I appreciate you sharing this, so what drives your success? What keeps pushing you forward with doing what you're doing?
I think mostly being to help people, right? And to see the relief and joy in their faces once they have mastered whatever they wanted to learn or whatever problem they were having, So that's my major drive.
Isn't that a great feeling though, to help someone?
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, but if you can do that, and be consistent at that, you're actually going to have a client for life or clients for life, in terms of
Right.
referrals and things of that nature. So that's awesome to hear. There are a number of people probably listening or listeners that are interested maybe in starting a business, regardless of what industry. Any type of advice that you would give them?
I would say do your research diligently, right? And learn what are the ups and downs in your particular business. Understand that you will have ups and downs in your business, especially when you just get started. Yeah, and then just go for it.
Yeah, that's I couldn't have said it better myself. I always say that all the time when I do these, but it's great to hear that. And James, how can our listeners get a hold of you? Can you provide your phone number and your website?
Yeah, well, my website would be www.seniorcompucare.com, Palm Beach County. And the best number to reach me at would be 786-707-9981.
Well, James, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. We're so excited for you to be able to share your success, your inspiration to our listeners about what you do. And hopefully we can have you back on the show in the near future.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.